Hey everyone, welcome back to another Anime Kingdom reviews. You see by the title below, this is on episode 10 of Shokugeki no Soma season 2, and this is of course the finale, the final episode of this arc, the final results of the three-way battle of the autumn elections. So pretty much how do I feel about this episode? It was a pretty damn good episode. Really, honestly, in my opinion, adapted really well once again, like I've been saying about all the other episodes, and just honestly, it definitely, I bet you, like from what I've seen in the forums as well, I bet a lot of you guys thought that Soma would probably end up winning. Because when I read the manga, honestly, I was honestly surprised. I did not expect Soma to lose. There's this whole thing about him winning, you know, not losing until his, you know, he finally wins against his father. And pretty much, you know, you see throughout this, you know, season and even the last season, you see him as like everyone always looks down on him, doesn't think he can do it, and he somehow does the impossible. He does this crazy ass shit that every time we're like, whoa, what the hell? And everyone around him is like, did not expect a single thing from him. Like, he literally comes out with the craziest shit that no one would normally do, and he's just like the underdog story that always just comes out and wins. And throughout this whole tournament, you see no one expected him to win, and he almost beat Hayama in this close in what's it called, in the prelims, that close in the score. Then he beats Alice when no one thought he could beat her. Then he beats dang Subaru, who looks just like he's won 99 Shokugekis before and literally just destroyed Takumi in the, you know, quarterfinals. And then he goes against two of the best when it comes to their specialities, in obviously Hayama being amazing with spices, and him being able to smell the perfect fish that they needed, and Kurokiba pretty much being the, you know, he's like super good at picking which type of fish for, you know, he's a seafood specialist, pretty much what goes on there. And, you know, you think, what is Soma gonna do? And bam, he brings out this kind of aged fish, which no one expected. And even towards the end of this episode, you're like, oh, this is good. But everyone was like, oh yeah, nothing even changed. The director's shirt's still on and stuff, and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, boom, Soma's got another crazy thing. He takes out this soup kind of thing, to which we find out is porridge, which is soy milk porridge, pours it in, and all of a sudden, instantly, shirt breaks off, actually, just like disintegrates to pieces from the director, and all of them love it. You see Alice's mom also start speaking like perfect, fluent Japanese again, and just literally Dojima, the director, and Alice's mom completely loving the dish, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, he really is doing an amazing job. No one would have thought that. Like, oh, whoa. And I love the speech that Ishiki gives to Aizen, and how Aizen pretty much, you know, he wanted to humiliate Soma after what had happened in the last season, and he did everything that he could, including using Subaru, to which of course that ends up not working out, and everything did not turn out the way he wanted it to be. And you can see he was mad at first when Ishiki brought that up as well, to which the reason why Ishiki says that everyone in the crowd and everyone hates him, and why so many people end up reading the magazine, that's why it's such a good use if they bash, you know, Soma, it's because what he asked, you know, it's pretty cool to see that flashback of him asking Soma's dad, you know, why, like, what's different with Soma, and so he pretty much saying that not even the father, not even him has this, what Soma has is pretty much the ability to, normally when you make something, when you see something, you have a defense mechanism to pretty much, like, for example, if I were to cook something and all of a sudden I'm in the finals against, you know, Hayama and Kurokiba, I would be like, no ways, this is not going to be good enough. There's no way that I can find a fish that is perfect compared to how they do it. You know, there's always, you know, you kind of lower your expectations because of that, so you don't get hurt as much. That's not something for Soma. He goes full on, doesn't care about that, and just keeps pushing farther and farther and farther. And that's what makes him special, that no matter what, even if the odds seem against him, he will try his best no matter what. And that's why so many people hate him, because it's pretty much like that just shows that, their lack of trying. They're not even trying as hard as they should. And in terms, that's why people hate him. That's why people don't want to acknowledge him, because if they acknowledge him because of this, they're acknowledging their failure. That's pretty much what the whole big point and his speech that Ishiki had made. And that's why I love that speech, because it really is a perfect description of what Soma is, who he is, and what is his, what's so special about him. And he's not the best at all these kind of dishes, at this kind of thing, at this thing. Like Hayama he's a genius when it comes to spices. Soma doesn't have that. That's what makes him so special, and that's why so many people want to diss him. And that's why they start to respect him as well, saying, wow, he really can do this. He really is doing a good job. He actually might have a chance. And that's why we all love Soma. And that's why it's like, it is this kind of show, and this character is good, because we love that kind of underdog story, the kind of not natural talent kind of thing, the kind of story where you see this person that tries his damn hardest to achieve his goals, and he's able to do it, because that's what everyone wants. That's what everyone always craves to have to happen, And that's why that's why one of the reasons I love Shokugeki no Soma, and why I love Soma's character so much also as well. But of course, other than that, the episode goes on to pretty much, like I said, they loved his dish. They come up with the results. Pretty much the director saying that in terms of taste, they were all pretty much even. They all had their specialities. Soma's creativity was able to make it just that much closer to how good theirs was as well, and all this kind of stuff. And then it comes down to the main point, speciality. If you have a speciality that that pretty much makes it unique and different from every other person, that's what it came to the point that in the end, I'm pretty sure, not like I said before, I don't think a lot of you expected. Did I say that? Yeah, but whatever. I don't think a lot of you expected, from what I saw in the forums as well. Not a lot of people expected this, but in the end, Soma did not win. It was actually Hayama. Now, why did Hayama win? Why didn't Kurokiba win? Why didn't Soma win? Is, of course, they explain it later on. It's all about speciality. He pretty much, like, his uniqueness of his spices, of his, fragrance, of all of that kind of stuff, is just so unique. It just, when you eat something or smell something of his, you instantly know that's Hayama's. While Soma's, sure, it's amazing. He does the craziest things, super creative, and like, whoa, what the hell? But if you eat it, you're not really thinking, yeah, that's Soma. You're thinking, oh, this is a really good dish. Who the hell made this kind of thing? I didn't expect it to be made by someone, you never know who it is kind of thing. That's why Soma in the end did not win this competition. Kurokiba, he obviously has his own speciality as well, but in terms of just how unique in comparison to everything else, seafood, amazing kind of thing, and what he did was also amazing. But Hayama's, his spice mastery and everything is just full on what makes his thing a speciality, and why in the end he ended up winning. I mean, you can kind of tell he was going to win towards the end when you're watching the episode, and all of a sudden, whoa, here's Hayama's flashback kind of thing. And it was definitely nice to see how he went from being, when he was younger, for Shiomi to find him and take him in and all this kind of stuff to go through. But you kind of see that, like, it was like right when I saw that point, I was like, yeah, when I was reading the manga, Hayama's going to win for sure. Like, obviously, I knew who was going to win already, obviously, because I read the manga. But when I started reading the manga, when I first read the manga and I was reading that part, I was like, yeah, Hayama's going to win, isn't he? So that kind of just ruined it a little bit. I was wondering if they were going to put, when I was reading it, when they're going to put Hayama's flashback kind of thing. Because they showed, we already know about Soma, they showed Kurokiba's, what about Hayama, right? So in this one, obviously, they do end up showing it, to which, of course, in the end, that is pretty much why Hayama wins. There's two big reasons: one, speciality, and one, what you, if you didn't notice, but you could kind of think about for later, is obviously what Soma's father said last season, I think it was. He said that you have to find someone who you're willing to cook for, kind of thing, like a woman to cook for the rest of your life kind of thing. And for Hayama, that is obviously Shiomi. So he not only had his speciality, which is, totally unique in every way comparison to everyone else, but also because he had someone to cook for. He had someone to strive to get better for. He had someone that he wanted everything, not just for himself, but he wanted it for her. And that's why he ended up winning that's pretty much what the big point of that whole thing was. And we get to kind of see something that, you know, his Soma's father mentioned way before. So before you go like, well, Kurikiba has Alice and stuff. Well, yes, but it's not like he is really doing it for her. He's doing it for himself mostly. He's doing it for her a little bit, but it's not like the way that Hayama is doing it for Shiomi, and that is why I made this point in the end. But yeah, I noticed a lot of people were also happy that Soma didn't end up crying and, you know, be depressed and stuff, but that's obviously not the kind of person he is. He was sad, he was disappointed that he lost, and the whole thing with him not, you know, losing until his father, you know, he goes against his father again, definitely did have a huge impact on him. He was looking at his headband thing for like the longest time. Even later on gets a call from his dad and sees that his, you know, this is the reason why his dad sent him here, to find other people to push them ahead. And even Dojima said that as well, kind of thing, that seeing, you know, the three of them together is probably, they're going to be able to push themselves further and further and further. And without Soma going to this school, he would have never had gotten this kind of experience and would have never have changed. So that's a big thing as well with this anime, is pretty much changing yourself, but also with the help of others, kind of thing, pushing yourself forward and pushing others as well. And that's pretty much what ended up happening in this rest of the episode. It was really funny and cute, just like when I read in the manga, to see the kind of relationship that ends up springing because of that, between the three of them, kind of like hanging out at the Shiomi place, and pretty much like, ooh, yours is pretty good, but mine is better, mine is better, mine is better. They're all trying each other's food and stuff, and Hayama getting all mad, like, why you gotta do this here? Get out of here. Ooh, cookies, I don't know, get the shitty kind of cookies, not the good ones. That was honestly pretty damn funny, you have to admit. But of course, the very ending is where we get the whole thing with the big introduction to what the next arc is. We have 3 episodes left in the next arc, and that will be on the Striganaire, I forget what they call it, but if you don't know what that means, it pretty much means internship, and that's what they're going to be doing, an internship. Only reason I know that for to be honest, is that I read the manga. When I first read it, I was like, what the hell is this word, when I first read it. And then I was like, oh, okay, they're doing an internship thing. So that's pretty much what the next arc is going to be. I'm definitely excited to see how that's going to be. To see how, I'm not going to spoil anything, to where each and every one of them go to which restaurant they go to. I cannot wait to see the interaction between those certain characters and everything. It's definitely may not be as epic and crazy as we've gotten for the autumn elections, obviously, but it's definitely a good arc to still end up enjoying watching. And that will probably be the end of the arc, to which I'm not too sure if there's going to be another season. I would love there to be another season, but probably not for quite a while. I know in the manga that the current arc is still going on for quite a while, so they might want to wait a little bit longer for it to be a full-on arc into the anime. I'm guessing that's why they only did this arc in 13 episodes, because to be this whole season in 13 episodes, because to be honest, at first I was like, this is not enough episodes, this is definitely not enough episodes. But after really watching it and looking back at the manga, it honestly, each episode was adapted exactly like how the manga was, and honestly, I think they did a really good job on it, and cannot wait to see how the next episodes, next arc goes, and potentially see if there will be another season. But yeah, that's all I gotta say, guys. Hope you enjoyed this Anime Kingdom review. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. There's anything I missed and you want to talk about, comment below as well. And if you have any if you did enjoy it, leave a like, and if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe for more content. It really does help the channel. And yeah, that's all I gotta say, guys. So until next time, see ya.